Welcome into Cheney Stadium here in Tacoma, Washington, and on ESPN Plus for some Sunday USL Championship action between Tacoma Defiance and New Mexico United. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Andrew Harvey, as always, alongside Dave Clark. And this a very exciting matchup, which we'll have more on in a moment. But first, a break for the playing of our national anthem. Welcome back into Cheney Stadium here on ESPN Plus. Just about set for kickoff between Tacoma Defiance and New Mexico United. And Dave, for New Mexico, we've chosen to highlight a player who's not starting today, but gets a lot done both on and off the pitch for the visitors. Yeah, Michael Lazier returns to his first professional city here in the Seattle area. He's one that has contributed to the community. It's part of what makes soccer so special. He still contributed to the community here in Seattle, over in New Mexico, and back home in Uganda. Meanwhile, for Tacoma Defiance, he's a young man who had a huge Thursday role in that 2-1 win over San Diego. It's Azriel Gonzalez. We've been waiting for Azriel to have a breakout game in 2021, and this was it. It's not something that we expected to see. Man had a goal and an assist, a lovely little pounce on that loose ball there, earns the goal, and his back heel move and pass was one of the most beautiful plays we've seen in this game. Yeah, no style points to be given for it, but quite the assist for that second goal for Carlos Anguiano in the 2-1 win Thursday, forgive me. Meanwhile, good news on the injury front. Everyone healthy and available for selection, Dave. Yeah, everybody is healthy and available for selection. The multi-carol pre-match injury report is wonderful for Wade Weber. Just one absence today, and that's Eric Kinsner, who's missing this match due to a red card on Thursday. For New Mexico head coach Troy Lesane, similarly, Juan Pablo Guzman unavailable. He was sent off on 2 yellow cards in that 0-0 against El Paso. But apart from that, a very strong lineup for the visitors coming into this match. Yeah, it looks like they're probably going to be lining up in a 3-4-3 today, and their brilliant teal just glows like electricity for New Mexico United. I'm looking forward to seeing Amanda Moreno back from the Gold Cup with El Salvador. Tacoma Defiance for Wade Weber, just 3 changes from that Thursday win. Yeah, the most significant is the move of Randy Mendoza into the left center back role and Alex Villanueva at the left wing back. Ethan Dobelair at the right wing back will be exciting as well. They're all gray today. Your referee today is Matt Franz, assistant referees Christian Clark and Hunter Zakwieja, Katarzyna Wasiak, the 4th official. Another brilliant sunny day here in the Pacific Northwest. Weather these last few weeks has been very hospitable indeed. And that suits Defiance just fine, who are back at home for this, the second of a 4-game homestand. And really hoping to rack up wins at home and keep climbing up those Pacific Division standings. Yeah, they're one of 3 undefeated at home teams headed into the weekend. Phoenix Rising and El Paso Locomotive being the other 2. Obviously, those are the darlings of their divisions. And Tacoma Defiance with Coach Wade Weber would like to continue their streak today. Defiance 4-4-4 overall. Games in hand against just about everyone on the table outside of Oakland, thanks to a match that was called off to a thunderstorm against Austin, rescheduled for September, and a match against Oakland that was rescheduled for later in the year as well after positive COVID tests within that organization. Yeah, New Mexico United has fairly decent away form, 2 wins, 1 draw in their 8 played. Some extended warm-ups going on out there today. Matt Franz orders the extra balls knocked off the field, and Defiance, who are wearing commencement gray, will move from right to left on your screen here in the first half. And like you mentioned, Dave, impossible to lose track of New Mexico out there in those teal kits. Everyone brings the high vis when they come to Cheney Stadium.
I find it better for us, and frankly, that's the biggest concern, right?
Well, it is Azrael Gonzalez at center circle, over the ball and set to get us underway.
Defiance flooding the left here early.
Referee Matt Franz's whistle gets us underway here at Cheney Stadium. 90 minutes of action between Tacoma Defiance and New Mexico United here on ESPN+. Ball back to Andrew Thomas. Well, Carlos Anguiano notched the game winner on Thursday, but you have to say Andrew Thomas made a couple of big stops down the tail stretch of that match to deny San Diego an equalizer.
We have a New Mexico United player down.
That was awfully quick. And it appears to be Brian Brown. Well, certainly it was away from the ball, Dave. I have no idea what happened.
About 2/3 of his own team didn't know what happened. They just kept playing for a few moments on United.
So Brown, the Jamaican international, back to his feet. Pat on the back for Randy Mendoza. And we'll get back underway. Tacoma was willing to do the sporting thing by throwing the ball back to the keeper. Instead, it'll be a drop ball. And now, Dave, maybe we can get this game underway in earnest.
I like that rule change for the uncontested drop ball.
Yeah, pretty much someone always got kicked every time you let two guys hack at a ball, but only as soon as it hit the ground. Ball worked here to Kalen Ryden, who is Mr. Consistent for New Mexico, played every minute of the season so far. Here's Sergio Rivas up the near side. Rivas, an Albuquerque native, but you could call him a local product, played his collegiate ball right here at Seattle University. Ball ahead now for Brown, and notches the early corner off the shin of Tom Brewitt.
Handful of players from New Mexico kind of returning to their roots. We covered Azira, and also on the bench is Schmidt, who played for the UW. That might be why you hear a few more New Mexico United fans than you would expect for a trip from Albuquerque to Tacoma.
Captain Josh Suggs here for the in-swinger. Skiffs it along the ground. Rivas tries to tap it back to him. And Alex Villanueva puts it out for the throw-in. This is Danny Robles. Intercepted by Ryden. Armando Moreno. Gone through for Brown. Too long for him.
Villanueva flashing back to his old academy days, or the olden days in the USL where he's playing back-to-back days.
A number of these Tacoma Defiance players have recently seen time in the American First Division after hardship call-ups by Seattle Sounders FC. Adeniran, another one. And Brewitt there, just not fully connected with Villanueva. Robles trying to work there against Andrew Tenari. Well, Dave, when you think of this New Mexico midfield, formidable has to be one of the first words that comes to mind.
strong veterans, and they had a great year last year. Kozlosane won the co-coach of the year.
Well, the yellow card instantly out of the referee's pocket. He got Taylor Mueller late there and will be booked here just 5 minutes into this contest. Mueller feeling the after effects of that challenge. Dave, your thoughts on this tackle?
I'd call that an orange. Could be red in some cases. Might be fortunate that it's early enough in the game where sometimes the center ref doesn't want to assert themselves.
Well, certainly as a forward, Dave, you always want to make your presence felt early in a match. I don't know necessarily if that's what Troy Lesane had in mind for Armando Moreno. Here's another look at it.
I'm more yellow now on that angle. It's a little more incidental than the other angle made it seem.
Robles forced backward there by, once again, the combination of Moreno and Devin Sandoval. New Mexico will not give you much space to breathe, and Defiance can't afford a sort of meandering Sunday start like we sometimes have seen here at Cheney Stadium.
Particularly after knowing what worked so well on Thursday night, they should be able to apply those lessons tonight.
Daniel Bruce working against Villanueva there.
This New Mexico side is quite used to playing on the road. They basically played on the road all year last year.
Clever leave there by Sandoval, but it was well read by Randy Mendoza. Here's Ethan Doubelair. Dinneron. And the phone line's just not connected right now for Tacoma. Brown forced off the ball by Brewitt. Try to hit the reset button with a long ball to Adeniran. And it will go out for a throw-in. Looping throw-in from Bruce.
Tacoma may be a little bit confused because the 2-3-4-3s essentially line up perfectly together. So they're not seeing those same passing lanes that they're used to seeing.
It's a bit like watching two left-handed boxers fight each other. There should be an advantage to be had, but perfectly canceled out. Left through for Obed Vargas, but it's won away by Bruce. Bruce is crossed. Did that come off Mendoza's arm? It did. It'll be a free kick just outside the penalty area, says referee Matt Franz. And a somewhat half-hearted appeal from Bruce that might have been inside the 18. Here it is again.
And the replay will notice that, oh, he's well outside of the 18 when that strikes. Purely incidental, and so no card shown. A fair call.
Rivas and Brown over this free kick. Rivas was known for his set pieces while playing for the Seattle University Redhawks. But it will be Brown who strikes it into the wall. As far as Rashid Tete. Tenari. Back here to Austin Yearwood. He wants the diagonal. And just scuffed it over the head of his fellow defender, Kalen Ryden. 10th minute of play here at Cheney Stadium. And Dave, you have to say, Tacoma Defiance has been under siege from this New Mexico side that certainly looks like they have grand plans to disrupt Defiance's unbeaten home record this season.
Yeah, if San Diego Loyal had taken kind of a casual approach to the match, New Mexico United has decided to come out forthright, high pressure. And they've been winning not just second balls, but first balls today.
Suggs fighting with Double Air, who screens him away and wins the free kick. Double Air, a player, Dave, that when he was coming through the Sounders Academy, we sort of expected we'd see a fair amount of him here at Tacoma Defiance. But the truth is he's advanced so quickly, he's more often than not on the bench for the Sounders.
Yeah, and he's also learning a new role. This is his only his third professional start as a right wing back. So it's something that's new for him. He used to be a winger, that type that dribbled with the ball at his feet, cutting in and passing.
Making his 5th appearance of the season here today. And the flag up for offside there against Moreno.
Tacoma taking several yards advantage on that offside.
Dave, what does Tacoma need to do to break this press from New Mexico?
They're finding the first pass fairly effectively, but they're not having their heads up enough to get that second pass to the free man.
Forced upfield, it settles at the feet of Robles. And Mendoza comes to a stop. Ball finds a dinner on. It's a heavy first touch, and he's unable to keep it in play. Well, since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Anguiano trying to bring this ball under control. Throw and given for Defiance. Moreno pulls that ball past Brewitt. Moreno strikes for goal, blocked by Mendoza. Well, an ill-advised pass into the middle kind of left Tom Brewitt hanging. Double Air going to try his luck up the far side. Adeniran giving chase. Ryden hot on his heels. Adeniran cuts inside, pokes it into the middle, and it's blasted away by Tete. It can happen just that quickly, Dave, if you switch off.
Yeah, Defiance play really well when they're in transition. This patient play that New Mexico has forced Tacoma into has been problematic for them so far.
Adeniran chasing down Ryden. Gone square to Yearwood, but he left that one fat. Here's Gonzalez. On his left, rattles around, might have struck a hand. Yearwood will dribble free. Sliding challenge there by Mueller.
Love a center back getting up 20 yards into the attacking half. I'd like to thank Tenari for fixing that divot.
Always replace your divots, folks.
Or your teammates. It's just a nice thing to do.
hemmed in there by Moreno. Adeniran. Robles. And a heavy touch from Obed Vargas. Yearwood does enough to get it away from Gonzalez. Now Sandoval. Bruce. Into the alley goes Daniel Bruce. Rivas. Moreno. Moreno. Shot was blocked partially by a defender. Rolls through harmlessly to Andrew Thomas. More pressure here from Mendoza. Anguiano looking to turn, gets tripped up. One of the things you always have to enjoy about soccer, Dave, is how short a metaphorical street it is. We talked about Sergio Rivas, who played here at Seattle University, one of his teammates then. Alex Roldan of the Sounders. As here's Robles past midfield and looking for some room. Touch to his right, double air calls for it out wide. He slips it back inside as far as Anguiano. Square to Villanueva, who is tripped up, and another free kick given. Brian Brown commits the infraction. Speaking of Alex Roldan, plays for the El Salvador national team, where he took part in the Gold Cup with New Mexico's Amando Moreno.
We got a few different 6 degrees of separation that we can do today.
Well, Brown had the hand up right away. He knew what he'd done. And no argument from the forward there.
Big wall from United. 4 in it and 1 essentially next to it.
Gonzalez and Robles over the ball. Gonzalez strikes for goal, blocked. So 2 free kicks, both driven into the wall so far today. And another foul, this one right on the edge of play. Mendoza upended there by Tinari.
That's 2 within a minute for Tinari.
Former Red Bulls 2 and Tampa Bay Rowdies man who made the trip to the Western Conference for the 2020 season with New Mexico. Currently leads the team with 4 assists this year. Gonzalez clouded into from behind. Another free kick. Matt Franz, the referee, giving the no more signal. As Tacoma have been hit a couple of times over these last 3 minutes or so.
Now the little warning on the kick away.
Through ball there, broken up well by Yearwood. Double air, thrown into the corner. Takes over from Obed Vargas, slips past his man. His cross to the head of Adeniran, and a diving stop from Alex Tambakis. Well, Tambakis has had nothing to do through 19 minutes of play, and his first action saves a goal.
When you're a keeper used infrequently, You like that first save quite a bit. Coach Lassane will like it just because he knows that his keeper's head was in the game. That was a powerful shot to have to stop for your first one.
How about that little move from Double Air to break free on that far touchline, get that cross off?
Well, I saw something new from Adeniran. I don't think we've seen him put a header on goal yet.
Well, certainly Troy Lassane can be confident in the play of Alex Tembakis. Came here to the United States and became such a mainstay for North Carolina FC from 2018 to 2020. 4 clean sheets on the year for the Greek keeper. Hit ball there. Well, that's one way to earn a goal kick. August is USL Supporters Month, and we want to hear from you. Visit uslchampionship.com/supporters-month for more information on how you can get involved and have a chance to be featured as the Supporter of the Week.
Mexico's very willing to let Randy Mendoza dribble with the ball at his feet. They're asking him to make those passes. They're basically trying to force him as a center back today to dribble into spaces he would normally occupy as the wing back.
Pass there breaks one line of pressure. Obed Vargas did pretty well to keep his feet. He'll get the free kick on advantage there.
Almost feel like he dumped that ball away just to deal with that slight injury on the foul.
The United Soccer League, all 31 championship clubs and its players stand together in support of diversity, inclusivity, equality, and compassion. For more information on the USL's commitment to change through the United Against Racism campaign, visit uslsoccer.com. Defiance back underway, and they'll try down the touchline. Villanueva run off the ball there by Ryden. Well defended.
So those 40 to 60-yard passes that have created some danger for Tacoma. They're looking to spring Villanueva or Adeniran. Tacoma's other primary attacking pieces are much better with the ball at their feet.
Adeniran gets the touch, rounds Bruce, was looking for the free kick, but won't get it. Well held in there by Sergio. Oh, well, I stand corrected. Really thought he'd done enough to keep that ball in play there.
Sam Adeniran not that big.
Might be forgiven for getting confused about it, though. 6'4" stands the striker. Thrown in for Moreno. He cuts to his left. Likes that move in from the left side. Adeniran wins that back. Moreno gets underneath him.
Adeniran covering the ground at 2 men at this point, basically.
Suggs. Rivas looking through for Brown. Sandoval. And it skitters back to Villanueva, who will let Thomas pick it up. Quickly thrown out to Villanueva. A lot of hard work being done just to establish possession. Tenari. Back for Yearwood. Now it's New Mexico's turn to kind of stall out a little bit offensively, Dave. They're looking for a gap, haven't found one.
When Sam Adeniran has support from Obed Vargas, the pressure for Tacoma is working. It's interesting, the possession numbers say that Tacoma has had more possession, but the feel of the game is that New Mexico has been effective in their possession. Tacoma basically 2 or 3 passes and then a turnover.
Brown trying to settle that. Sandoval gone wide. Bruce will get there. Slips before the cross, and I believe might have handled the ball in the process. Frustrating breakdown for New Mexico, who looked like they were about to spark a golden opportunity.
It's an effective way to get possession if you convince the ref that it didn't happen.
Tacoma sets sail on a high seas happy hour this Sunday, 90 minutes before every weekend match. Cheney Stadium opens for the high seas happy hour, presented by Lunazul Tequila. Join the pack as Defiance hosts Oakland Roots next Sunday. Much anticipated match against Oakland Roots. They've been trying to get that fixture played for a while. Yearwood toward Moreno, won away by Mueller. Villanueva with it here. Into the alley, his cross comes in, off the head of Adeniran, knocked away by Ryden. And the flag up for offside there against Devin Sandoval. Now, Tacoma might have preferred that went uncalled because they had a bit of a chance to turn out field, but offside's not one of those infractions you can ignore, Dave. It is a mandatory call.
Taylor Mueller didn't ignore it, won the ball. Tacoma felt pretty confident. I think they had a 4-on-3 going.
And with that, Tim Backus has taken about 1 touch every 10 minutes that this match has played so far. Outside here for Tete. Moreno steaming forward. Brown scoops it back toward him. Brewitt leaves it short. Into the 30th minute of play here at Cheney Stadium, 0-0 between Tacoma Defiance and New Mexico United. And Dave, fair to say that maybe this is a cautious first half hour from both these sides?
Yeah, Tacoma has been very limited on their risk-taking. I think New Mexico United knows that they've had the better opportunities so far, but they haven't created real danger.
Well, it's kind of one of the, paradoxes of interdivision play this season, since, right, you qualify for the playoffs only against your divisional opponents. So on the one hand, maybe you be a little bit riskier because, hey, there's points up for grabs here that you don't want to leave on the bone. But by that same stroke, you're not exactly taking 3 points away from anyone else in your playoff race either if you pull off a win. Matt Franz, the referee, awarding the free kick to the visitors. Throw-in settles at the feet of Brewitt.
Talking to Coach Weber, and part of the reason they made so few changes, Tacoma really wants to continue their streak. They want to teach their younger players.
Sandoval onto this ball. Mueller step for step with him. And it's another corner.
Tacoma has a desire for this win, and they want to teach their younger players to go on these short rests and earn victories.
Rivas available as the short option. Anguiano ordered backward by the referee to 10 yards. And everybody inside the 6. Shoveled in past Sandoval, lipped away by Brewitt. Back in from Bruce, the flick-on header from Brown. Adinaron pokes it to Robles. Now double air. And smash back downfield by Yearwood. Tacoma was looking to break after the corner. Instead, it's with Amando Moreno in the far alley. And Mueller has it back. Obed Vargas, wider still for Villanueva. Some acrobatics there from Rivas to break up the through ball. And double air has tripped Sandoval. Looking to start the second half of the season on a high note, Oakland Roots SC welcomes high-powered Phoenix Rising FC when the USL on ESPN continues. Don't miss any of the action from the Golden State Wednesday, August 4th at 7 p.m. Pacific on ESPN2.
There's a rare foul from Tacoma. They're falling behind in that stats category of this match.
Suggs gets the cross off on the ground. Broken up by Mueller, did just enough. Gonzalez gone ahead for Adinaron. Back for Anguiano. Swung to the left side. Villanueva's there. His cross. Brought down by Adinaron. Gonzalez shovels it back in, but there's no one on the other end of it. Been that kind of afternoon at Cheney Stadium so far, Dave.
Both teams just a little sluggish and imprecise in their movements today.
For Defiance, it might be somewhat expected, if not excusable, given the match on Thursday, but New Mexico haven't played since last Saturday. Just the travel doldrums and maybe that Sunday afternoon playing a bit of a factor in the sluggishness. Gonzalez brings that ball down. Wide for Adeniran, who tried to leave it for double air. And Tambakis forced to play it, deal it away. Brewitt races forward now. Center back getting involved. Loses his footing and is dispossessed. Well, that is some clever dribbling from Tinari there. Wins the free kick.
Mexico not even waiting for Tinari to get up, just restarting it.
Brown settles that ball. Rivas got a touch to it. I think he thought he had Yearwood running behind him. Adeniran has a chance to break on this ball, goes to strike it with his left, and it's well tackled away by Kalen Ryden, whose initial touch put that ball back to the inside and nearly let Adeniran break through on goal.
He's special. He can create a moment out of nothing. Here he is essentially one-on-one and just manages to get the shot off.
It'll be a corner for Tacoma. Adeniran, the obvious target, but Taylor Mueller in there as well. Gonzalez sneaking toward the back post. Anguiano for the in-swinger. Lofts it in. Pass Mueller. Adeniran got a foot to it. It's blocked and cleared away. Tinari gives chase. And the break slows down as Defiance gets back into position. Rivas, some room to work here. Was looking for the switch. Brown gone down there after winning the ball. Yearwood up the line for Moreno. Mueller gets the better of him. Has been on his game today, has Taylor Mueller. Moreno looking to press forward, chips it up towards Sandoval, who wasn't ready for it. Swung to the outside. Here's Suggs.
Suggs and Bruce have switched their wing back sides.
Villanueva tripped up there by Tinari. 40th minute. 5 and change to go until the break. And still a 0-0 deadlock. Or perhaps better called a stalemate so far here at Cheney Stadium. Brown. Clever pair of touches to try to turn himself inside. Instead, it comes all the way up to Vargas. Azriel Gonzalez clattered into by Austin Yearwood there. That'll be another yellow card. And there won't be much in the way of argument from the defender.
Tacoma wanted a fast restart, but those are hard to pull off when the card's shown.
Another look at the foul.
It's a great break from Obed and Azriel to get out there. And I actually think it might be a little bit hard, but I think that's a smart foul for Yearwood to commit there.
Well, certainly, Azriel Gonzalez has proven in the past that you don't want to leave him with too much space to run in the open field. So the professional foul is the second yellow of the afternoon. And United have it back.
Big switch along that back line.
Looking through, they find Josh Suggs. Cross is blocked off the head of Anguiano. Gonzalez links back up with double air. And Daniel Bruce puts it into touch out the far side. Dave, if you're Tacoma Defiance boss, Wade Weber, assuming this scoreline holds through to the half, what do you say to the team in the locker room?
They've got to focus on their precision. They're just not finding each other where they're expecting their teammates to be. A bit more precision in their passing, and suddenly this lead in possession becomes a lead in chances.
Precision somewhat wanting from Andrew Thomas there. Rivas, Moreno, Tinari, who is tripped up but gets back to his feet.
Ball in his foot like it had NFL wide receiver stick him on it.
Always a quality you'd like in a midfielder. Any player on your team, really. New Mexico trying to work their way up the field here. This is Tinari. Double air, cuts it off before it reaches Bruce, but Bruce sticks a leg in. Anguiano picks out Robles. Daniel Robles has had a bit of a tough time getting on the ball this afternoon. Usually such a spark plug in the middle of the field. And Adeniran gives away the free kick just shy of midfield.
You saw there he had his head up, but he didn't see players where he wanted them. He's sitting about 20 yards deeper than he was up until last week. A more defensive role than he's used to. But I'd like to see him just charge forward with that time.
Suggs looking long. Moreno gives chase to the touchline. Cutting in here. Back against Mendoza. The cross blocked. Rivas knocks it down. Tinari, his shot blocked by double air. As far as Brown. Brown on his right foot is blocked by Brewitt. Now Bruce on the far side. Picks out Moreno at the goal line. Rivas. He'll strike for distance. Just the wrong curl on it, Dave. One minute of added time here in the first half.
If I'm saying, I would not appreciate that shot. New Mexico had the flow of play there and could have created something from a closer position.
I have to say, it was probably their best string of possession in the attacking third in this first half. Free kick for Tacoma. Have to imagine this will likely be the last action of the half. Will Tacoma send it long or play it short as they usually elect to? Well, there's your answer. Mueller. Adinaran gets ahead to it. Obed Vargas. Villanueva. Adinaran trying to turn. He's got 3 defenders. We've played the minute. Is there another chance on this for Tacoma? Ball over the top. Villanueva's cross gone out, and that's the end of the first half. No score through 45 minutes here at Cheney Stadium. Dave, your thoughts on the first 45?
I think both coaches will appreciate that last 5 minutes and want to forget the first 40. There just weren't enough opportunities created for either side.
0-0 at the break between Tacoma Defiance and New Mexico United. We'll be back after a break on ESPN+.
Top tips on caregiver preparedness during coronavirus. Form a team that can help with caregiving tasks. Take an inventory of essential supplies in your loved one's home. Make a list of the care recipient's medications. Schedule regular calls to fight isolation. Finally, take care of yourself too. Follow the Centers for Disease Control's guidelines for coronavirus safety. For more caregiving tips, go to aarp.org/caregiving.
Our fight against coronavirus isn't over. We still have to slow the spread and do our part. Let's wear face masks in public. Stay 6 feet or more from others. Follow state and local guidelines. Wash our hands frequently and stay home when we feel safe. For ourselves, for our loved ones, for our future. Let's move forward together. Learn more at coronavirus.gov.
Sigue la lucha. Aún no acaba esta batalla. A estas alturas ya estamos cansados, pidiendo esquina. Pero no es momento de bajar la guardia, porque este enemigo, cuando parece que ya está en la lona, se levanta de nuevo y te ataca por donde menos lo esperas. Así que arriba la guardia, porque si pierdes la máscara, todos perdemos la lucha.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool.
To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. If you could see you through my eyes instead of your ego. I believe you'd be surprised to see that you've been blind. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Yeah, before you abuse, criticize and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
I am a first-generation student here at Bellevue University. I feel like if I were to have gone to a different university, my experience would have been a lot more stressful and overwhelming, because I feel like I wouldn't have gotten that personal experience that Bellevue University has to offer.
The 18, the Marcus Sargent goes to his left, hard strike, and it's in the net, 2-1 Oakland.
Split shit, another massive stop.
Scoots deflected, and a big save from Rawls.
As Asante takes this on. Oh, that's a tremendous goal from Solo.
Welcome back into Cheney Stadium here on ESPN Plus and in Tacoma, Washington. It is halftime between Tacoma Defiance and New Mexico United. No goals so far. Andrew Harvey alongside Dave Clark for you. So an overall lack of action in the final third for both these sides in this contest, but that doesn't mean they're having goals around the rest of the USL Championship. Let's take a look at some of the scores from around the league.
Yeah, big ones to pay attention to for both teams today. That Orange County over Oakland Roots result is good for Tacoma. El Paso over Real Monarchs SLC is good for New Mexico United in that competition for the playoffs in the Mountain Division. Miami and Charleston Nils LA Galaxy play later today.
And looking ahead to next week, there's no rest for the weary, particularly for Tacoma. 2 more matches here at home as part of this homestand.
Yeah, a big night on ESPN2 for Oakland Roots, and then Tacoma Defiance will host them on Sunday as both teams have midweek games.
Taking a look at our Pacific Division standings, Tacoma has gained some ground thanks to that win here on Thursday.
Yeah, and as has been typical this season, that 4, 5, 6, and 7 spot are very, very tight.
Can't get much closer than that, I suppose. Well, time to look now at some of the major headlines from around the league. And Dave, it is Supporters Month here in the USL.
Yeah, the Supporters Month, and that's really been powering a couple of teams to home success so far. Phoenix Rising, El Paso Locomotive, and Tacoma Defiance are all undefeated at home, and that's thanks to fans like this.
Meanwhile, big boost for a number of teams as those 17 players that took part for their respective nations in the Gold Cup come back into the fold.
Yeah, just one more Gold Cup match, and that's that big final between the United States and Mexico. And that's why Armando Moreno's out here today having a strong game so far.
Absolutely. Well, we got to witness one on Thursday night with that big win over San Diego, but it's nothing quite like some summer night soccer.
Yeah, particularly these weeknight games. There's a lot of them coming up. These are not the dog days of summer here in the USL Championship. These are competitive matches with big-time playoff implications.
And that will definitely be something that we're tuning into. It's a great way. Get home from the office, throw on some ESPN Plus, and enjoy the USL Championship. No score between Tacoma Defiance and New Mexico United. We'll take another break here on ESPN Plus.
Top tips on caregiver preparedness during coronavirus. Form a team that can help with caregiving tasks. Take an inventory of essential supplies in your loved one's home. Make a list of the care recipient's medications. Schedule regular calls to fight isolation. Finally, take care of yourself too. Follow the Centers for Disease Control's guidelines for coronavirus safety. For more caregiving tips, go to aarp.org/caregiving.
Our fight against coronavirus isn't over. We still have to slow the spread and do our part. Let's wear face masks in public. Stay 6 feet or more from others. Follow state and local guidelines. Wash our hands frequently and stay home when we feel safe. For ourselves, for our loved ones, for our future. Let's move forward together. Learn more at coronavirus.gov.
Sigue la lucha. Aún no acaba esta batalla. A estas alturas ya estamos cansados, pidiendo esquina. Pero no es momento de bajar la guardia, porque este enemigo, cuando parece que ya está en la lona, se levanta de nuevo y te ataca por donde menos lo esperas. Así que arriba la guardia, porque si pierdes la máscara, todos perdemos la lucha.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool.
To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Welcome back into Cheney Stadium here in Tacoma, Washington, and on ESPN Plus, as we are counting down toward the start of the second half between Tacoma Defiance and New Mexico United here in the USL Championship, who are scoreless through 45 minutes of play. Andrew Harvey alongside Dave Clark for you. And Dave, there's not been too much to talk about in the final third for both these teams, but there was this moment from Sam Adeniran, this header early on in that first half that really forced the save out of Alex Timbakis.
Yeah, strong, powerful header, got the right angle on it and everything. Just, it was the first action for Timbakis, might even have been his first touch. Just a brilliant header and a solid save off of that Sam Adeniran shot. Strong move by Ethan Doubleair to create that moment, too.
That, the lone shot on target for Tacoma Defiance. New Mexico also with one shot on target. They've taken 13 overall, but a good number of them have been blocked by this stout Tacoma back line.
Yeah, Taylor Mueller and Tom Brewitt have done an extraordinary job of limiting Sandoval, Moreno, and Brown. Mendoza's been a little bit iffy on that defensive side, but I think that's a little bit by design. New Mexico's asking him to do a lot. It's been Mueller and Brewitt who've really limited the opportunities from New Mexico.
Taking a look at Tacoma Defiance's bench, who do you think Wade Weber can turn to and try to send in here if the starters are unable to get it done?
I think what you look at is a little bit from Obed Vargas. He hasn't been integrated that well today, and that's where I'd kind of look for that next substitution. That'd be either a Juan Alvarez or maybe even an Alec Diaz out wide, which is an unusual spot for him. But if he can put in the defensive effort, you know that he can poach a goal.
Diaz really put his pace on display against San Diego and caused a couple of dangerous chances down the tail end of that match on Thursday. For New Mexico United, meanwhile, certainly, like we talked about, Michael Azira, who we're well familiar with in the Pacific Northwest, but Ilya Illich, Isidro Martinez, a couple other players that might come in, or possibly, obviously, David Najim, who just rejoined the team after spending several months away with the Afghani national team.
Yeah, take a little break and come back to a team that treated him well. It's a great opportunity for him. He's here on the road. It's an interesting bench for Coach Lassane because it's mostly with solidified defense. And so that creates an odd opportunity. If he can get that 1-goal lead, all of a sudden they could suck back and force tough choices from Tacoma.
Well, you had Amando Moreno and Brian Brown causing problems out on the wings for Tacoma Defiance's back line. Sandoval in the middle has sort of been trying to run the show, but the final little piece is missing. What needs to happen for them to have a breakthrough?
I actually think, particularly with Moreno, is just keep at it. He has created so many opportunities, and I think he can have the confidence of a national team player with El Salvador that says, I should be able to beat Tom Brewitt and Taylor Mueller if I just do this often enough.
For Tacoma, they did struggle to break that press from New Mexico. You think New Mexico stays that high up the field, or will they make a change and pull things back, so to speak?
I expect to see a more active Tacoma lineup. I don't expect New Mexico to pull back because the press has been working. Tacoma's just going to have to dribble through it and get those passes connected that they hadn't earlier in the game.
Well, there was a change from Wade Weber at halftime. He's inserted Issa Ryan onto the pitch in removing Danny Robles, who we did talk about, sort of struggled to find his way to the ball in that first half.
Yeah, and it's a cascade of movements because Ryan will go out to the right wing back where he has excelled this season. Ethan Dobelaire then goes up to that attacking midfield position, and Obed Vargas drops back to the defensive midfield. So one player changes and a lot of movement across the pitch.
A little bit like a volleyball lineup rotation when someone subs in.
That'll bode well for the pressure. Ryan is very good with the ball at his feet. We saw 2 incredible runs from him on Thursday night.
Back underway here at Cheney Stadium, courtesy of Sergio Rivas. 0-0 so far between Tacoma and New Mexico. But you have to think with the quality in both these lineups, it won't stay that way.
No, both teams should expect a goal. Tacoma scores almost 2 a game here at home. New Mexico's clearly one of the better attacks in the league. Oh, and I missed one of the changes. Ezreal Gonzalez is now on the left rather than the right.
Meanwhile, Suggs and Daniel Bruce have stayed inverted from where they both initially started. So Suggs patrols the far touchline, Bruce the near.
I'm all for wingbacks that can play both sides. You don't normally see them switch in the same game.
Here's Dobelaire, hoping to be set free now that he's not on the back line.
That lets him focus on the style of play he knows best. He's better with the ball at his feet running forward than he is defensively.
Rivas slides back into the ball after he lost it. Obed Vargas, bit of a tug there. Swung to the far side. Suggs. Brian Brown working against Mendoza, who has had his hands full with the big Jamaican. And Brown wanted more than just the throw in there.
Mendoza, the hobbyist MMA fighter, wanted more from Brown, too.
It's a heck of a hobby to have, Dave. Great workout, though. Austin Yearwood and Amano Moreno, the only 2 players in referee Matt Franz's book from the first half. Tambakis and Yearwood forced to go quickly. That's a turnover. Villanueva. And Defiance loses out on the throw-in.
Alex confused by that call in two cases. He thought it was both a foul and off New Mexico.
Moreno and Mueller exchanging glances after the free kicks given there.
Those two are feisty and exchanging words now, too.
Kalen Ryden lofts this over the top. Bruce gives chase. The flag stays down there. Gone out for a goal kick. For the W, starting next spring, the USLW League providing increased equity and opportunity for women looking to pursue careers in soccer both on and off the pitch. Comprised of clubs from across the championship, League One, League Two, and new expansion markets, the W League is set to begin play in more than 30 communities across the United States. Head over to uslwleague.com to learn more. Tete forced to give chase there. Tinari up the line to Brown. Suggs wants the ball out wide. It comes his way, and that is expertly broken up by Villanueva. Concedes the corner, but that's exactly the touch he needed.
You'd always prefer a corner than a man running in on goal.
Especially when that man's Josh Suggs. Another crowded 6-yard box. Suggs goes short. Rivas back to Suggs, curled in and doesn't beat the first man. Tough to get a ball over the head of Sam Adeniran. Secondary effort from Yearwood, and I don't think he caught that with quite the intention he had.
New Mexico keeping up that man pressure. Tacoma still struggling to break free.
Suggs making the run. Sandoval poked toward Bruce. And Mueller bound for the foul pole with that one. Keep powering Tacoma Defiance to their thrilling home record. Stand with Defiance on Thursday as Tacoma hosts Sacramento Republic FC. For tickets, visit tacdefiance.com/ticket information. Free kick given along the touchline. Issa Ryan getting slightly too involved with his first movement of the game. And pardon me, it was given after a lengthy advantage to Kalen Ryden, who was bumped into by Ethan Double-Air.
Bounced into each other like they were playing bubble soccer.
Much less fun to have that kind of contact without the bubbles, Dave. Dinner on. Wow. Got to give him credit for trying to play himself through with that little flick. Well defended. Tenari tackles it away from Double Air. Yearwood forced to clear it quickly.
Defiance forced New Mexico United to stumble in those passing opportunities, putting their keeper under significant pressure, but didn't have the support to create anything from it.
Gonzalez knocked over from behind there. Rashid Tete, the guilty party. Switch toward Issa Ryan, who's got some room to work if he can bring this ball down. Double Air spins through traffic, looking to go ahead for a dinner on. Now it is New Mexico's turn to have a little bit of trouble moving the ball along its back line, Dave. Guiano. Wide for Mueller. Mueller wants a dinner on over the top. And a free kick after it was handled by Tenari. Kind of looks like Tacoma, Dave, has been given the green light by Wade Weber to try Sam Adeniran with some more Route 1 balls, just trying to go straight over the top.
Yeah, they're seeking him out over the top, both Ezreal Gonzalez and Ethan Dobelair, rather than being like wide forwards, are those underneath men.
Well, big collision off the ball, settles at the feet of Adeniran. He has a go from distance, and Tembakis forced into another stop, spills the rebound out for a corner.
Sam and Ezreal talking about the availability of Ezreal Gonzalez on the wide spot there. Can't be too upset here in the corner on that shot.
Oh, a good old-fashioned pile-up.
That almost spilled in rather than just out for a corner.
Yeah, Tembakis will be happy to see that one on the outside of the post. On Guiano's corner. Another free kick for Tacoma will lead to another change. On comes young Juan Alvarez. He's in to replace Ethan Double Air after 57 minutes. Dave Alvarez, another bright young talent from the Sounders Academy.
Yeah, he had a strong game on Thursday. Was involved in one of the goals that was scored.
Brian Brown. Rivas. Rivas gone down line for Suggs. That's an expert ball. He has a man inside. The cross broken up by Randy Mendoza, and it's a goal kick too. Dave, tackles just don't get any better than that.
Blocking the shot into the man to put it out. That's basically perfect. Randy Mendoza, small but fierce. Just saved everything there.
Obed Vargas back from Mendoza. Thomas keeps that on the ground. Heavy first touch from Vargas, who slides over the ball. Anguiano looking to play this through. Broken up before it reaches Alvarez. Gonzalez brings it down. Ryan in the alley, looking for space for the cross. Did he get it off in time? No, goal kick. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XMFC 157, North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio, featuring Ray Hudson, Tony Miola, Rodney Marsh, and USL All Access with Mike Watts and Devin Kerr every Tuesday night at 7 Eastern. You can also hear live action from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XMFC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
Sirius XMFC was my lifeline yesterday as I was at a garage sale during a busy soccer Saturday, so I got to listen to a bunch of games on over the radio that day.
Rivas eating up space here. Wide for Suggs. Tenari. Moreno. Suggs through traffic, and it's right at Andrew Thomas. But great build-up play from the visitors just before the hour mark. And action on the New Mexico bench. Troy Lesane looks to be set to bring on 2 changes. With 30 minutes to play. And another free kick given right along the touchline here. That's Daniel Bruce, who got the worst of it.
Coach Lesane has 2 subs ready, but has decided to hold them back for just a moment. Didn't run with a hip check that I think knocked Bruce's wind out when he went down into the ground.
There's not a low mass collision there with a player like Sam Adeniran. Suggs now for the free kick. Ball dropping in, and the flag up for offside. That'll be frustrating for New Mexico United. Got to make the most of chances like that.
In a low chance game like this, it increases the importance of every touch that has danger to it.
Turnover here. Moreno trying to bring this ball free. Sandoval wide for Moreno. His cross broken up by Mueller.
I feel like every time you say Moreno, you say Mueller about a second later.
Have matched each other step for step through this game. Rivas for the in-swinger here from the near side. Keeps it on the ground. Moreno scoops it back to him. Second ball. Headed away and volleyed clear by Issa Ryan. Crunching challenge there. Got the ball cleanly from Moreno. Obed Vargas leaves it outside. Anguiano draws a bit of a reaction from the crowd with that fake against Sandoval. Tom Brewitt, home run ball toward Issa Ryan. Yearwood the first to it. Adeniran brings it under control, fighting with Kalen Ryden. Appeals for handball. Referee glanced at the assistant, nothing given. Now a ball over the top the other way. Thomas out of his penalty area to play it. And Adeniran apparently was onside. Villanueva. Gonzalez. Now it's Ryan on the near side. And Kalen Ryden knocks that ball back past midfield.
Mendoza and Gonzalez on separate pages of the book for that play.
Moreno dropping deep here, loses out to Alvarez. One back by Sandoval. Moreno's onside. He is stopped by Andrew Thomas. The big keeper off his line quickly to deal with it and comes up with a huge save.
Yeah, they pounce on a loose ball, spring Moreno, and Thomas makes himself huge. Trailing hand, just gets the fingers to make that save.
Corner played short. Shoveled in, header out. Guess who? Sam Adeniran.
He's done that on every short corner at this point. I can be stubborn too, but you might want to change it up.
Tembakis. Back to Brown on the near side. And that one falls through for Moreno. Moreno keeps it himself, and Thomas once more! Twice in 2 minutes, Andrew Thomas has gone one-on-one with Armando Moreno, and twice he's denied the striker. And won the goal kick. That'll lead to a substitution. David Najim and Michael Azira going to check in for New Mexico United here, who are appealing, saying that Moreno was fouled there. Defiance going to bring on Marlon Vargas and Alec Diaz as well, so 4 changes out of Wade Weber. Now here's another look at that last chance.
Brilliant move by Moreno to spring free. Waits too long, I think, there.
And boy, you gotta say, Thomas doesn't seem to get the ball from that angle.
Yeah, I think if Moreno is still in the Gold Cup, he winds up getting that penalty shout. And we'll have to see. One of New Mexico United's players that was subbed off was shown yellow on their walk out.
Here's another look at it. I think there's a case to be made for that to be a penalty kick, Dave.
this match ends with no goals between or with just a 1-goal lead, United
tackle. They're looking for Moreno once more. And Randy Mendoza doesn't want to see the story unfold a third time. And now Diaz and Marlon Vargas will enter. Sam Adinaran headed off. And so too is Azriel Gonzalez. So Alec Diaz now 2 goals in what is now his 11th appearance. Marlon Vargas 1 in now his 7th match played this season. Thoughts on the attack-minded move there from Wade Weber?
We know Wade never tries to pull into a shell, and that's just another example of it. I think, frankly, Adinaran's been running and active for the past 2 matches, and maybe just doesn't have the legs to do that for 90 on short rest.
Tenari looking over the top. Suggs is onside here. Can he get to the ball? He can. Cleared away by Villanueva. What effort there from New Mexico United's captain, even though they weren't able to get a cross out of it.
They're going to try to work it back to him. They're seeing an advantage there between Suggs and Villanueva.
Here they come again. Suggs is offside this time. Open weekdays from noon to 5 p.m. The We Are Tacoma team store is stocked with Tacoma's most defiant hats and caps. Keep the sun out of your eyes and let the world know you are defiantly Tacoma. Online at wearetacoma.com/team store or visit the team store on match days. Well, that chance goes whistling wide. Tacoma winning a throw in deep in their own half. Well, here comes Ilya Ilic to replace Sergio Rivas. And the Serbian will try to make his mark here. Suggs teeing up the free kick. Keeps it on the ground. Moreno back towards Suggs. Ball's behind him. And another chance on a set piece goes begging, Dave. Tete. Back to Tambakis. Illich. Obed Vargas gets it up to Diaz. To Marlon Vargas. And Vargas's pass off target. Here's David Najim. Tacoma has it back. And the ball behind Marlon Vargas. Once again, just the difficulties finding one another with these short-range passes, limiting Tacoma's effectiveness in the attacking half so far today. Villanueva wins that ball, but Anguiano fouled Tenari in the process of winning it. 75 minutes gone, a quarter hour left to play. 0-0 here at Cheney Stadium. And certainly have to say, New Mexico United have been asking more questions than Tacoma over the last 10 minutes or so.
And no longer can the answer for Tacoma be Wade Weber's bench.
Alvarez, bit of a pull from behind there. Anguiano absorbs the same. Mueller switches things over to Mendoza. Gone ahead for Marlon Vargas. Villanueva working back to him. Tenari gets it back for New Mexico. Here's Michael Azira, former Sounders man. Yearwood draws Alvarez. Ball up to Illich. And the tug there from Randy Mendoza. We'll see him booked here in the 78th. Dahlia, if you mentioned earlier that there was a yellow card during that double sub from New Mexico, we can confirm now that it was shown to the reserve goalkeeper, Phil Beigel, over in the technical area.
He might have been a little too vigorous in the claim that that should have been a penalty.
Issa Ryan here. Ryan trying to break through. Yearwood, critical tackle. Now it's Moreno. And the return ball comes behind Yearwood. Brian Brown fighting off 3 or 4 Defiance players before being dispossessed.
Tacoma so far out of shape after Ryan's run that they've just reset, which unfortunately also gives New Mexico the opportunity to reset.
Both these sides have walked a fine line at times here in this second half. Both still looking for a breakthrough. Here's Marlon Vargas to Obed Vargas, no relation. Juan Alvarez for Ryan. Randy Mendoza. Villanueva. Villanueva going to serve this toward the back post. Confident there from David Najim. I head that back to his own keeper. There's Issa Ryan. Real source of energy since subbing into this match. One back here by New Mexico. Brian Brown. Tenari. Azira. Seesawed over to Yearwood. This is Suggs. And that ball's gone out of play. Another New Mexico change. They will bring on, well, the player in question is wearing the number 7. I don't believe the sheet we're handed, pardon me. It is Isidro Martinez who is checking in, replacing Andrew Tenari. Martinez, 1 goal, 2 assists, and has now appeared in all 16 matches this season for New Mexico. Certainly has some big shoes to fill in replacing Andrew Tenari, who got a lot done in the middle of the park for United so far in this fixture. Back pass there, Tambakis in a spot of bother. Forced out to the side on Yearwood. Over the head of Brewitt. Mendoza cleans it up back to Thomas. Illich settles that ball, forced back to Tete though. Worked up the side. Here's Martinez. Options in the middle for the cross, but it'll be blocked right away. Obed Vargas shutting down the opportunity.
Maybe this is how New Mexico United's short corner works. They just wait until Sam Adeniran isn't on the pitch.
Could be. Suggs available short. Anguiano forced back to 10 yards. On the way from Martinez, Thomas drifting, goes up and grabs it. Not afraid of contact is the former Stanford man. "84 minutes now. 6 in stoppage for one of these sides to find a breakthrough.
And to this point, we shouldn't see much stoppage.
Really just the yellow cards to speak of. They find Marlon Vargas, and Vargas can't bring the ball under control. Quickly the other way toward Moreno. Randy Mendoza comes crashing in, puts the ball into touch. Suggs will take the throw-in. Picks out Martinez. Spins in a left-footed ball. Brewitt heads it away. Here's Najim. Has his head up. Just didn't see any options downfield. He's forced backward. Martinez wants over the top for Brian Brown. He gets a foot to it. Brown into the area here, stumbling over his man and fouling Issa Ryan in the process. Defiance back line, bending, not breaking yet again. Andrew Thomas, good gracious. He certainly got all of that, Dave. Kalen Ryden gets it past midfield. Mendoza picks out Marlon Vargas. Villanueva, further overlap. Vargas trying to round Tete. Great defending there. Tacoma Defiance going to make its fifth and final change. Alex Villanueva's day is done. And on comes Cody Baker, a recent signee to a professional contract.
Baker, normally a right-sided player, being looked at as a right wing back or right center back in this formation. So, of course, his first professional appearance is as a left wing back.
Like you mentioned, his first professional appearance, third appearance of the season, was on an academy contract prior to this. Mueller looking to range forward. He's dispossessed. Martinez quickly looking for Moreno. Moreno wide now to Suggs, gone over the top, and Suggs had options at the back post. Called his own number there and might be regretting it now. You can see the frustration on Armando Moreno.
See here, Moreno just continually creating trouble for Defiance, and Suggs will want that one back. He had bodies in better positions to pass that to.
You know, I take it back, Dave. On second blush, I think he was trying to cross that. Just skipped up on him.
It's been 15, 20 minutes now since Tacoma's threatened that goal. They shouldn't be willing to accept a draw here at home when they've been so strong at Cheney Stadium.
That said, Dave, the current scoreline holds. You certainly have to say that this feels probably more like 2 points dropped for New Mexico than for Tacoma. Martinez. Upended there, free kick given. Obed Vargas, the guilty party. New Mexico have had a tough time capitalizing on their set pieces in this contest. Here's the foul again. So Martinez and Suggs over this ball as we tick into the 90th minute. Suggs wanted to go short. Instead, he'll take it himself. And once again, they fail to get it past the first man. You have to say, it has been a shortcoming of New Mexico's set pieces on the day. Martinez trying to send in the second ball. Azira flips it along. Atop the 18, it's Brian Brown. Azira, his shot blocked in traffic, and Tom Brewitt knocks it past midfield. Najim pursued by Alec Diaz, and Timbakis drops it back over the top.
Great clearance by Timbakis, well out of his area.
Taylor Mueller gone over Ilya Illich. Marlon Vargas. Chopped to Juan Alvarez. 3 minutes of stoppage time. And it was handled there by Juan Alvarez. Bounced up and got him in the arm. So the move breaks down. Both these teams capable of quick strikes, late goals. Is there a hero in this match as we're in stoppage time? Martinez looking over the top. Ryan, the overhead clearance.
Coach Laslane trying to speed up the restart.
Ball in for Moreno. Some half-hearted appeals for handball. Martinez up to Azira. Back for Martinez. Illich got on his bike there, and it struck the back of Brian Brown, who was offside. Well, you gotta love the creativity from Ilya Illich to attempt this from outside the 18.
It was bold and just an intelligent play. And you couldn't be less fortunate for New Mexico there for their day. It just bounces right into a man who didn't know the ball was coming.
Thomas testing the near touchline. Ball thumped through by Ryan. Time is short now. Timbakis rolls this out. Keeps it on the ground. Over to Yearwood. Dancing up the touchline. Mueller puts it out of play. Tom Brewitt wins a towering header. Illich brings it down. And it's won away by Cody Baker. Baker rolls that down the line. That stayed in. And the flag up for offside against Alec Diaz, who I don't think was expecting that ball to stay in play, Dave. I certainly wasn't.
Yeah, I don't think anybody expected it to stay in play. And how offside could he have been if they're getting a restart there?
Just a step, it seems.
A step over the center line.
That's all it takes. Najim cutting inside here. New Mexico United have been threatening in this second half. Martinez gone over the top. Thomas backpedals, escorts that ball over the bar, and settles for the goal kick.
That clock could...
And it's full time here at Cheney Stadium. Tacoma Defiance settle for a 0-0 with New Mexico United. Some exciting opportunities for both these teams, but neither converts, Dave.
Yeah, I think New Mexico United is going to be very frustrated, probably have a complaint about the non-call there, the penalty that could have been. They created many more chances than Tacoma, so this has to feel like a drop for them. And yet still, Tacoma Defiance are undefeated at home.
Well, it's 3 matches now without a goal for New Mexico United, who will be back at home on Saturday, August 14th to take on El Paso Locomotive. Back into Mountain Division play for them. And for Tacoma, meanwhile, strong result, a good enough result in the midst of a 4-game homestand.
It's a good enough result, particularly if you can carry it forward with the Thursday and Sunday that they have coming ahead. If you get a 4-match homestand and you take 10 points, you'll be very happy with that. So I think this draw here matters. What happens against Sacramento Thursday, what happens against Oakland on Sunday, that's what will determine if this was a good draw or a bad one.
That match on Thursday kicks off at 7 p.m., and you'll have it right here with us on ESPN+. That's going to do it for us here from Cheney Stadium. Once again, 0-0 the final score between Tacoma Defiance and New Mexico United. For Dave Clark and all of us here at Cheney Stadium, I'm Andrew Harvey saying so long. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you next time.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.
strong veterans, and they had a great year last year. Coach was saying won the co-coach of the year.
Well, the yellow card instantly out of the referee's pocket. He got Taylor Mueller late there and will be booked.
Strong veterans, and they had a great year last year. Coach was saying won the co-coach of the year.
Well, the yellow card instantly out of the referee's pocket. He got Taylor Mueller late there and will be booked here just 5 minutes into this contest. Mueller feeling the after effects of that challenge. Dave, your thoughts on this tackle?
I'd call that an orange. Could be red in some cases. Might be fortunate that it's early enough in the game where sometimes the center ref doesn't want to assert themselves.
Well, certainly as a forward, Dave, you always want to make your presence felt early in a match. I don't know necessarily if that's what Troy Lesane had in mind for Armando Moreno. Here's another look at it.
Come on. Strong veterans, and they had a great year last year. Coach was saying won the co-coach of the year.
Well, the yellow card instantly out of the referee's pocket. He got Taylor Mueller late there and will be booked here just 5 minutes into this contest. Mueller feeling the after effects of that challenge. Dave, your thoughts on this tackle?
I'd call that an orange. Could be red in some cases. Might be fortunate that it's early enough in the game where sometimes the center ref doesn't want to assert themselves.
Well, certainly as a forward, Dave, you always want to make your presence felt early in a match. I don't know necessarily if that's what Troy Lesane had in mind for Armando Moreno. Here's another look at it.
Come on. Strong veterans, and they had a great year last year. Coach was saying won the co-coach of the year.
Well, the yellow card instantly out of the referee's pocket. He got Taylor Mueller late there and will be booked here just 5 minutes into this contest. Mueller feeling the after effects of that challenge. Dave, your thoughts on this tackle?
I'd call that an orange. Could be red in some cases. Might be fortunate that it's early enough in the game where sometimes the center ref doesn't want to assert themselves.
Well, certainly as a forward, Dave, you always want to make your presence felt early in a match. I don't know necessarily if that's what Troy Lesane had in mind for Armando Moreno. Here's another look at it.
Come on. Strong veterans, and they had a great year last year.